Hey guys, I'm going to do a face lather today. It's not my typical way to shave, but I want to learn, get better at it. Um, I do like bowl lathering a lot better, and I can speak more accurately about the differences if I'm decent at face lathering. You can't just try it a couple times and then be able to compare authoritatively. You've got to get decent at it before people can realize that you know what you're talking about. So that's what I'd like to do. We've got the boar brush, the 20102 from Omega. It's got a decently long loft, and my Wolfman WR2, and this is below the normal range in terms of the gap. It is a 0.85, and I like that. I'd rather actually go a little milder, but it's hard to find those very much. I'm going to put in it I just on a whim pulled out this Super Max Blue Diamond. I think I have a bunch of these in my office, and so I'm trying it in some different razors every once in a while when I can think about it. I think I must have run across a sale or something. Anyway, West Egg from Storybook Soapworks is the soap for today. I chose a nice deep soap tub so that while I'm working it about 120 swirls, I am hopefully not going to have as much lather overflow as I did the other day. This was an exclusive for a subreddit, and it was a 3 soap set. There was East Egg and West Egg, and then obviously it's a Great Gatsby theme, Valley of Ashes. I think that was it. I think that's the Southern Witchcrafts one. The Storybook did the West Egg, Barrister and Man did the East Egg. All right, I haven't used it in a while. It is a used soap that I purchased, and I've used it I think once, and the white grape notes I really kind of enjoy, and there's some aldehydes in there as well, just kind of a different level of note. And I think there's some kind of wood in there too that I can detect a tiny hint of. All right, before I get my face wet, my hands wet, let's work with this paper. I've got kind of 7 marks on it right there, so maybe it's had 7 uses. See if I have any dots on the wax paper. I do not, so I'm going to say 7 uses, I guess, so not too many. This feels kind of thinner than many of the other blades out there. So there's not too much of a mystery as to what it looks like there, or which one it is. It's very clear. Hope you guys are doing okay with so many nations doing various levels of quarantine with this COVID pandemic. Here's how the base plate of the Wolfman looks. Hey, you can see I have a Samsung phone. Hope to get a new one soon. This one's really showing its age. All right, there we go. The brush has been soaking 10-15 minutes. And all right, get my face a little wet. A lot of fatigue around my house lately, and so if that's a sign, it's possible we could be infected, but other than that, it seems to be pretty good. I did hear Dr. Oz say that O blood types often don't catch it as easily. A types catch it a little bit more easily, some of the data that's coming in. I'm a type O, and so that's cool for me. I'm less likely to get it, and if I do get it, I'm less likely to have symptoms, and so that's good. It would be nice if there were easy kits available so that you can know if you have it, so you could be extra careful around other people, But anyway, maybe nothing. Maybe I'm just my sleep patterns and all that kind of stuff. Or with this new job, I'm trying to get it all up regular. All right, so I've had this brush soaking. Several of my friends online have advised me kind of the same technique heavy loading, about 3 or 4 times as much as I might use for a bowl lather. Already that's kind of a ding against it, for me at least. Yeah, heavy loading, and then just work it onto your face and add water by a painting motion instead of into the middle of the brush like I often do. So let's just see how that works. They're saying kind of a wet brush, but not dripping. So I'm gonna kind of move it around here. Yeah, it's not dripping anymore. A little bit. Okay, so it's still a pretty wet brush, and these are long bristles. I chose it specifically because if anything's going to hold enough lather for me to get through the shave, then this guy might be it. Okay, so what we're going to do is 50 swirls, and then I'm going to stop and maybe add some water if it looks like it needs it, and then 50 more swirls. So let's give that a shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's 50, counted by tens. Still got lots of water here. I don't think there's any reason for me to add any more. So let's do another 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we'll do 20 swirls more. And that's 20. And that took about a minute. I looked at the clock, a little bit less than a minute worth of loading. And this is just a lot more soap than I need when bowl lathering. So if you want to make your soap go far, don't use this method. All right. Got plenty of water here, and so we're just going to put soap right there, and here's what the brush looks like. Kind of looks like a very watery lather. It doesn't look creamy at all. It's okay. I'm going to put some dip water in my bowl so that I can dip the tips of my brush in it. All right, now hopefully we don't get a lot of water leaving the brush. I'm concerned about that. It just makes a huge mess, and it's a big detractor. Yeah, see, there we go. It's already kind of starting. So let me switch to a strategy of circles right here, because see, the water stays in the mix here. And the minute I try painting, there's just so much water in the brush. So let's kind of try to, yeah, this is just not enjoyable at all to have the sprinkler system go on here. I mean, maybe I should have shaken out some more water from this particular brush, and obviously it might differ per brush. And if I could keep the water in it, that would be great, because my lather's going to need it. One of the things I've noticed, there we go, it's calming down a little bit. One of the things I've noticed is that I think it might be good for me to acknowledge that when I'm trying this kind of technique, I need to just be patient. It's not fast because of all the water you have to add. It's fast if you like a dry lather, relatively dry, because you don't have to add as much water. But then it just doesn't have the protection that I like. It doesn't have the slickness I like. You can get more irritation with your skin because a higher concentration of the drying soap, is on your face. Yeah, see, it's starting to turn into a lather now. That's better. Be able to kind of act normal in a minute here. A lot more arm exercise is needed for this kind of method. It's a lot easier to just kind of stir in a bowl Matter of fact, I'm going to switch to the other hand so I can kind of work this side of my face a little bit more. Almost never do that. It's kind of an odd feeling. And so now that we've got enough of the water that is actually combining with the lather, I've been afraid to press, very hard because of all that water wanting to come out. Now I'm going to press a little more. So yeah, I was telling you about issues. Now I've got some water coming off the base here. If you have issues with dryness, I'm going to urge you to try a bowl. You'll use up less soap. You'll get more mileage out of your soap. And so that $20 tub of some nice, fancy artisan soap is going to give you a lot more shaves than just a couple of months. And then there's going to be less drying soap in contact with your skin. You get that soap mixed up, properly hydrated, and a much more diluted version of your lather is what hits your face. That might be a winning solution for some dry skin folks out there. I'm going to press a little harder, hopefully, to try to work some of that water out or get it to combine with the soap. See, and I think this is kind of a pain. I'm going to try to be net positive during this shave here. It's going to be tough because there's a lot of things about this that I don't like. But let's put my mind at a place where I know that I am going to craft a lather that's going to work, and let's just be patient with it. Enjoy the relaxation, the time. It's not very relaxing having to work so much, but let's just kind of try to make a peaceful moment out of it. Okay, now I think there's still water in the kind of the root area of the brush here that needs to be worked in, but I don't think I can get to it very well. So let's start to kind of paint on some more water. Now some people might shave with the very lather that I've already created here. It's too thick for me. Needs more water, too dry. In order to maybe keep it from being quite so messy, I might do the dip in my little lather bowl and then just let any of the free water come out. And that way the extra water maybe won't come out while I'm working my face here and make a mess. We'll just see, I don't know. One shaver said that one of the things they do is they watch their brush, and whenever they get some excess around it, they remove that excess and put it in their soap tub. Now, I am no germaphobe, but I might be more likely to have a spare dish nearby to put the excess in and not let worked on lather go back into my soap tub. Matter of fact, I'm gonna this extra water that's here in the tub, I don't want it to render down my soap there, so let's just kind of add it to our brush here. So I do look like the statue rather than the pigeon when I am using this method. And the problem is a lot of the best lather, the wet lather, is what's fallen off. The creamy, sticky, dry stuff, it's what's staying on. So if you have ingredients in a soap that irritate you, but maybe it's a soap you really like, you may want to try bowl lathering with it, because that means that less of that soap, less of that ingredient is going to touch you because it's already been diluted. Now see, I didn't think that through, and I just had a big old glob of lather, and I don't have anywhere to put it. I've got another bowl up here. Let me grab it. Put kind of the extra lather in this bowl. Use it when I run out of lather toward the end of the shave. As a matter of fact, let's take all the side lather here from the brush, put it in my bowl there, because we should have plenty. And see, because we're working with so much soap, the handle gets a lot more slippery than when I'm doing a bowl lather and I've got a better concentration. Okay, so one of the problems with face lathering is that it takes a while before you can take that really intense concentrate that's on your face and work it down to the right consistency. And so if you like your lathers wet, like I do, then face lathering, like with this kind of method, is not really going to save you any time, because it's tedious and long to. Told you I'd be positive, but sorry. It just takes a while to add that water back in, because if you add a lot of water to it, it just kind of wants to dump out of the brush. Dipped in the water there, so let's bring it back to the cheek here. You try to incorporate that water. One of the great things about this method is that your face definitely gets worked on by the brush. In terms of face cleaning, that kind of thing, my fingers, I'm having to work this thing so much, my fingers are getting tired with this particular brush because I'm having to grip it so hard because the handle is so often very slippery. See, and we took away the side lather earlier, and sure enough, look, we've kind of built it back because of the concentrate. And you know what I want to do? Here's something. I want to take away a lot of this concentrate that's on my face, like that. Put it in my lather bowl. Take away the stuff on the side of my brush. And then we'll dip again. And we'll see what this gets us. So, if you like your lathers kind of dry and pasty, looking very creamy, but in reality really kind of dry, then I think this can be a good method for you. Chris from Another Cut Above, I really like a lot of his videos. I enjoy his personality and seeing some of the products he uses. But he's got a video out on how to face lather, and it's similar to this, where you load really heavy and you paint that dry stuff on your face. You paint that concentrate on your face, and then you kind of do like I've been doing. You take to the water, you dip, and then you are adding water to your face. And you keep doing that until it's translucent. So that's kind of stage 2. First stage is put the dry stuff on your face. I mean, semi-dry, you know. But spread it around on your face. Step 2, phase 2 is the adding water until it turns kind of translucent. And then step 3 is start with the circular motions and just trying to work the lather up into, what you would like. Now, again, I'm going to take my fingers like an open comb razor and just gather up some of this lather. Dip one more time. Maybe I might even get to the point where I like the slickness of the lather, where I feel it's hydrated enough. And so at least Chris is, you know, letting you add water till you get to that translucent point. But the thing is, you still got tons of soap on your face, and he shows you the creaminess of what's on his face, and it's a definitely, I would say it needs a lot more water. Now, he did acknowledge that in his video, but he probably just likes it that creamy. You know, he likes more of a dry lather. See how much soap we've got here? A couple of times I've been able to kind of take half the soap off of my face, and I'm still going. Let's do it again. Why not? Just get nuts. Get nuts. We're not getting nuts. We're just shaving, right? I'll dip it in the water again, just to show you how much soap that we're using here. And as we add more water, it'll get slicker, slicker, and slicker. Now, if you do use a soap that's too dry, if you don't have it on your face for very long, I don't think it kind of works its way into your skin to protect you. But at least one good thing about this method is that you're working it so long that it may be a little too dry for my tastes, but at least it's been on your skin long enough to kind of protect you reasonably well. I'm tired of working this stuff. It's been 22 minutes since I started the video. This is too much of a... Let's try to be positive. Hold on. Let's reset. All right. Brush on face. There we go. Now, but hey, we're learning, right? We are learning. And I am. And Storybook is a good lather. It may not be super top tier, but it's a good lather. Yeah, see, that's actually a good consistency. That's a good wetness, a good hydration level right there. So, hey, I added enough water at least for part of the lather. I think my face is still a little bit on the dry side. So it looks like maybe if you like your lathers as wet as I do, then this face lathering may not necessarily be for you. But if you like it a little drier, then it'll be a lot faster than what I'm doing. All right. Blue diamond. Yeah, blue diamond. Let's see how you do. 1 day's growth, kind of a normal amount of growth. It's not a smooth shave here. I do feel just a tad bit of tugging, so there are blades that work better in this razor for me. We'll have to see during the rinse how slick my face feels, how much soap kind of residue I feel on my face, because yesterday it was excessive because of all the concentrate involved in this face lathering method. And enough lather in my goatee for a whole pass. All right, there we go. Let's rinse. All right, I got that off. I did not rinse very much, just a little half rinse. Didn't come anywhere close to getting all the soap residue off, so maybe it'll kind of be a little resident soap there. So here's all the lather I pulled away from my face and from the brush during the first pass. So let's kind of work that on. And, you know, because of all that scrubbing I did on the first pass, I don't have to do much anymore. Let's just paint on this stuff. if some of it's kind of concentrate, and so you may have to kind of reformulate it by hydrating it down a little bit more. But this looks okay. Definitely a lot messier than my bowl lathering. I'm going to go cross grain now. Pretty smooth actually here. I'm able to go pretty fast because I've done this many times. I've studied it, studied the angles. I've done it slow at first. So if you're new, don't try to go this fast. That's a pretty good cut right there. Moving across nicely. The leather does feel, especially over here, a little drier than I might like. But I just kind of proceeded on anyway. And so if you've got that concentrate and then you've kind of got a thick soap film that's on your face, I think I'm kind of in the minority liking the mild razors. I wonder if people have to like more aggressive razors because of that thick soap film. That's thick being a relative term. Thick soap film that's kind of on your face. You need something more aggressive to cut through it and get to the hairs. Just an idea. All right. So pass 2 is down. Let's rinse it. And there we go. A little half rinse. Water out of the goatee. Get some more lather from the reservoir here. Sorry about the noise. Paint it on. Got tons of lather because I loaded for so long. With my bowl method, I can make a tub of Stirling soap last longer than a year. But I can see why guys would maybe only have one last 2 or 3 months by this kind of heavy loading. But I mean, soap is kind of cheap. Most soap is relatively cheap, so I'm definitely not, saying you shouldn't do that. If it floats your boat, if you like this kind of method. I've been doing it with a boar lately. Might have to try this method with a badger and see if we get any difference. Very comfortable shave now. And now I'm going to switch, this is my trouble spot right here, to a different direction than I've used the whole shave so that I can cut it a little closer. The direction kind of comes down this way, over here, and then down this way. So I've had to study a long time the different types, directions, and angles to combat that stream there. Here, and here, pretty standard, pretty easy to shave no matter what. Here's the problem child over here. All right, final rinse, I think. Yesterday I used a Stirling soap for this same technique. The only problem was it was a little more full, and so some of the water, the slurry, kind of overflowed. If that was an important part, I was following my friend's needs more menthols technique advice. And if it's important that that water stay in, then that kind of invalidated that attempt. And so that's why I chose a deeper tub today, and none of the water went over. And so I think that, kind of worked out. But yesterday, using a Stirling soap, which I've used many times, their brand, and a Stirling balm, also used many times. Several hours later, I was experiencing dryness, and that just doesn't happen to me. Tightness in my face, that's the kind of symptoms I was having. And I believe because of the excessive use of the amount of soap, that all that concentrate that goes on my face, that soap was acting on my face, causing it to dry out and feel a little tighter than usual. And I have oily skin. And so I think there's some dry skin folks that could really benefit from switching to a bowl. They'll have a more diluted lather, a slicker, wetter lather. Still shaves awesome. In some cases, I believe, shaves better. And then it doesn't have as much soap contacting their skin. Theory. All right, well, I was able to get that soap, almost all of that soapy layer off of my skin. I can still feel some slickness now. So Storybook is a nice soap. Let's see. Yeah, cut nicely. So that blade did a pretty good job. Wasn't all that enjoyable in the first pass. A little bit of pulling, tugging, that kind of thing. It's not an old blade. Well, some people, on its 8th shave now, some people might call it old. Anyway, but it was comfortable in the second and especially the third pass. So that gets a nice vote. And the West Egg is not a strong scent, but it's a little bit there. And so there we go. And it was an enjoyable shaving with this little piece of art right here. And he's got a high polish finish. I think this is the H2, the WR2 handle, the number 2 that he has. I think that's the only Wolfman handle I have. All right, well, I do have some excess lather. Looks like I've probably got enough for 3 passes if I wanted to do 3 more passes. So there's that. Okay, I'm going to clear up, clean up, things like that. Let's see what kind of aftershave product we want to use today. Now this scent is very light. I almost don't even smell it at all right now. And so it's definitely not going to conflict with a balm or any post-shave product. I'm going to use the same thing as yesterday, Sharp Dressed Man, because I want to try to use up this. It's a little old. To that, maybe I'm going to switch to a more modern version, just to say that let's see, I got Dunshire, and that's a very recent acquisition. And so I'm going to switch to that one, because then, you know, I could be able to say I tried Stirling balms, you know, old and new, and I still had a drying effect several hours later. So let's just see if that holds true. And Dunshire is similar and inspired by Acqua di Gio from, I think it's Armani, right? I do feel a tiny bit of irritation, and I just never have that experience with most any soap. Just that high concentration, I believe. All right, well, let's clean up. Well, there we go. How about that? I think I've said the good things in sum up about the different pieces. The razor, love, the brush worked well. Had a little bit of prickle to it. In the beginning, it wasn't as bad because it was rich with a intense soap concentrate, and that tends to dumb down the prickle in the brush. Once I started to get close to the right hydration level for me, I started to feel that prickle again. It's just a brush that's going to take a while. It does have a lot of split ends, especially around the edge of the knot, and some in the middle as well. And so that encourages me each time I use it, but there are still a bunch. If there was some way I could, you know what kind to look for, or feel for, to find the ones that are being harsh, man, I tell you what, I'd get in there with some snips and cut those guys out. Anyway, I think we'll just wait on it and see how many uses it takes to get nice, because then that'll help me to advise other people about Omega brushes, that sort of thing. All right. Pretty good little adventure here about face lathering, learning more about it each time I do it, getting better, more competent at it. And I definitely think if you're going to do it this way, just set your mind to know that it's going to be a while. It's going to be some arm work, and it's going to be a while if you like to get to that wet hydration that I like to get to. And just, maybe choose a better, softer brush that you can enjoy during that time while you're working the water into into your lather. So yeah, I do think Chris's lathers on another cut above, at least the one I saw in the video where he demonstrated his method, a lot drier than I would usually say. But everybody's different. Everybody likes different kind of things, and so if that's what makes him happy, then he should go for it. But I'll definitely continue watching his videos. I love watching him try new brushes, new soaps. Since he's over, I think, in the UK area, he's going to try a whole different section of soaps and stuff than I have access to in general. So it's a fun thing. And Mark at Friendship Shaving, he's got a YouTube channel, and he is, I believe he is perhaps caught the COVID virus, and so here's prayers to him for a speedy and quick recovery, and hopefully it just doesn't impact him very much. You know, hopefully he's one of those that it just doesn't affect too much, and he's able to rebound quickly. And so you take care out there, Mark. And I believe we're ready to go. Learning experience today. I love the Storybook base, and we'll do something else tomorrow next time. I don't know if I'll keep experimenting with the face lathering. Maybe I'll try this kind of method with a badger brush. We'll just have to see whatever everything feels like tomorrow. Keep yourself safe out there. And this is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and I hope there's been something here that's helped you out. Take care. Bye.